What's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5, just a quick video going over the latest information for PUBG on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And unless you've been under a rock over the last week, the latest update is out, number 4.3 on console. With this, we have the new DBS shotgun, survival mastery system, and this brought the long-awaited crossplay. I have videos on my channel going over all of this stuff and an awesome gameplay of me getting the chicken dinner with the DBS shotgun. That thing is an absolute beast. So once you update your game and get into the lobby, you're going to notice that the menu system has changed. This is the same menu system as PC now, so they've made this consistent across the board. But unfortunately, you can kind of tell that this was not made with controller in mind because the functionality just seems to be a little off. But for the most part, I feel like it's just going to take us a little while to get used to, and they've been changing the menu system a lot over the last year. One of the changes, which is a little bit funny or frustrating depending on how you look at it, is they changed the button for the after action report. So previously all you had to do was click down on the right thumbstick, and they switched this to clicking down on the left thumbstick. But a lot of times after the game, your muscle memory is to click down on the right thumbstick again to just check out the after action report. But now when you're in the lobby, this button brings you to a cross-play promotional video from PUBG. And on the Xbox, it will take you out of the game into the dashboard and will automatically pop up Internet Explorer, which causes this whole thing to load up, and you can't really cancel out of it, so it's been frustrating for some players who accidentally hit that button. But again, I think most players will get used to that. So if you go to find a game, you'll notice that quick join is no longer available. You have to choose between playing the 3 standard maps, which are now Erangel, Miramar, and Vikendi, or just playing Sanhok itself. I thought this was an interesting idea at first because I love playing Sanhok, so now it's like the 3 traditional larger maps or the smaller one. But for some reason, I kind of miss just having the quick join option, being able to play all of the maps, because when you're playing standard, you just know now that there's no chance you're getting Sanhok. And then sometimes not a lot of my friends want to play in the Sanhok playlist because they know they're just only going to get Sanhok. So it doesn't really help the variability of getting the maps. And for some reason, it feels like all I'm getting is Miramar. Like Miramar is 66% of all of the maps, and then Vikendi and Erangel are making up the rest of that percentage, but that's just me. Also, a little off topic here, but now all of the maps are available in custom games on the Xbox One. Erangel refers to the remastered version, and Erangel Classic is the previous version of Erangel. Unfortunately, custom games are not available on PlayStation yet, but the word is that you guys should be receiving custom games by the end of this year. Now getting into the game, unfortunately there has been a lot of issues since the update went live. Obviously crossplay is a great thing, but with this we have 2 different platforms playing on the same server, and this is creating some problems. I'm assuming that's the main issue because before this the servers were running pretty well, but right now I've definitely been dealing with an increase of desync and losing frames. Kind of reminds me of old school PUBG, where sometimes when you're in the end game and there's a lot of people in close proximity, the frames start to slow down, and we haven't seen this in quite some time. At least I haven't, playing on the Xbox One X with an SSD. So it's always unfortunate to see this stuff, but hopefully over time they can get this figured out and it's not a long-term problem with crossplay. But I have seen that some people are already turning off crossplay because they find that most of the issues have been happening when they're near other players. But honestly, I really feel like, guys, you should keep this on. It really enables the community to have a better chance of playing more games and having a better experience, and PUBG will eventually get all this stuff fixed. But also there's another issue, and this is sound related, and at first I didn't want to admit that this was a problem, but now it's extremely frustrating to me. I just thought that maybe people were over exaggerating it, but as I play more, I find that this is a pretty big problem. Enough so that the PC players vocalized their frustration with this, and they actually reverted the sound update to the previous game state on PC, and it turns out that this is also happening on console. So today, PUBG support tweeted out, a hotfix is scheduled for deployment next week to revert the footsteps and sound changes implemented in update 4.3. Details will be shared as soon as possible, and there's no official date mentioned yet. So PUBG has been working on improving the sound across the board for the game. It's been one of their big initiatives as of the later part of this year. But with this update, in my opinion, the enemy footsteps have been really hard to hear, especially when people are vertical either below or above you. There was one point where I was in a 1-story building and it sounded like someone was below me, and I don't think there's anybody above me. It's just the footsteps were so wonky, I thought somebody was stuck in the ground, and that's kind of frustrating because that's really your best way of knowing where people are, because there is no radar or UAV in PUBG. And for some reason your teammate footsteps are really loud, so those seem to be working well. But enemy players, you can't tell if they're in the same building as you, across the street. Sometimes they sound really loud, sometimes they don't hear them at all. So it definitely seems like there's something bugged with that, or whatever changes they made didn't really end up working as planned. And lastly, it it seems like there's still some old bugs and glitches that are still happening. For example, I loaded into a game and one of my teammates was missing from my UI, so I wasn't sure if he was part of my team or an enemy player. This also happened to another friend of mine when we were playing, so it seems like while this is rare, it's still happening to people out there. So if you guys are having any issues or seeing any bugs in the game, make sure you try to report them to PUBG, whether you do so on Reddit, you tweet at them, or go on the official website. If you have any issues, make sure you guys comment down below, because you might be able to compile this stuff and send it into PUBG. It always helps when they get information regarding any bugs or issues. But overall, even though we just went over some negative stuff there, the server and the game is still playing all right. It's just these little moments of hitches and lag that are problematic, but overall it's working pretty well, and I think this is a great first step for crossplay on console. Make sure you guys are finishing up your Survivor Pass. Only a couple weeks left in that. I think it's roughly like 15, 16, 17 days left. Make sure you work on those weapon challenges, because after that you won't be able to earn them. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can dislike the video. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.